a billionaire bridge owner, a late-night phone call to the White House, and now Donald Trump is holding a $6 billion Canadian lifeline for ransom. He's demanding 50% of a bridge that Canada built, financed, and owns, or he'll never let it happen.
This isn't about fairness. It's a coordinated shakedown, and we've uncovered the lobbying trail that leads directly from the Ambassador Bridge billionaire's pocket to Trump's social media threats. They aren't just attacking a bridge, they're trying to shake down Canada.
And today, we're doing a deep dive into the 100-year history of the bridge monopoly, the millions in donations that bought this post, why Trump is lying about Buy American rules to crush a bridge he actually endorsed back in 2017, and the secret lobbying deal that started this entire crisis in the first place. We're Dave and Deb, so let's get into the truth behind this bridge war.
Donald Trump did something that isn't just unhinged, it's a direct betrayal of North American trade designed to serve a single billionaire donor.
He's demanding 50% of a $6.4 billion asset that Canada paid for in full, or he says that he'll never let the ribbons be cut. But we followed the money. Hours before his Truth Social post, the billionaire owner of the Ambassador Bridge was huddled with Trump's inner circle.
To understand why this is happening, you have to understand the Maroon family. For years, 50 of them actually, they've owned the Ambassador Bridge. It's one of the only privately owned border crossings in the entire world. Think about that. 25% of all U.S.-Canada trade flows through a bridge owned by one family. It's a literal goldmine of toll revenue.
And the late Matty Maroon bought it in 1979 from Warren Buffett. And since then, they've fought every attempt to build a public competitor. They like the monopoly. They don't want a shiny new 6-lane public bridge down the river. They want you stuck in traffic on their 96-year-old span so that they can collect your tolls and sell you duty-free gas.
The Maroons have spent over $33 million on a single Michigan ballot proposal just to stop this project. They filed dozens of lawsuits. They've even tried to buy up land in the middle of the project site just to block the path.
When the courts failed them, and construction actually started in 2018 on the Gordie Howe International Bridge, they realized that their monopoly was ending in 2026. So, what do you do when the law says no? Well, you call in a favor from the highest office in the land.
And let's be honest, they called the easiest person on the planet to buy off. We're talking about a man who treats the presidency like a vending machine for billionaires. You can put a coin in it, and then you get a policy out. In this case, the coin was hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations and a well-timed meeting with the Commerce Secretary.
Trump is corrupt to the core, we know that. And the Maroons know it as well. They aren't looking for a fair deal for America. They're buying a hitman to take out their only competitor. It's not about America first. It's about the donor first. And Canada is just a convenient target stuck in the middle.
And it's not just Canadians saying it either. Even the Wall Street Journal's editorial board basically called it what it looks like. Cronyism. Government power used to protect a private toll empire.
So let's break down the timeline, because this is where it moves from politics to a full-blown shakedown. On Monday, February 9th, Matthew Maroon, Matty's son, was in Washington. He met with the U.S. Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick.
Now, keep in mind who Lutnick is. He's not just Trump's tariff guy. He's the latest Trump friend named in the Epstein files.
That's right. Records just revealed that Lutnick visited Jeffrey Epstein's private island after it was well known that Epstein was a convicted sex offender. He's currently facing massive calls to resign because he previously claimed that he cut ties in 2005 with Epstein. But now the files show him visiting the island for lunch in 2012.
So you've got a guy whose credibility is already in the gutter, sitting down with a billionaire bridge owner who wants to kill all of his competition, including another country.
Lutnick meets Maroon. Lutnick then calls Trump. And presto, hours later, the president is on Truth Social threatening to block a $6 billion Canadian bridge.
It's a circle of favors. The billionaire gives the money, the Epstein leak secretary delivers the message, and the president, a man who has proven that he's always for sale to the highest bidder, he executes the shakedown.
It's not about America. Nope, not at all. It's about a small group of very powerful, very compromised men looking out for each other at the expense of Canada and the state of Michigan.
And then, luckily, reality showed up because our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, called Trump directly and had a positive conversation, so he said. According to sources, Trump even asked Ambassador Pete Hoekstra to help calm the noise in Michigan.
Which is just another way of saying he rage posted first, then remembered, hey, wait a minute, trade actually exists.
It's corrupt to the core, Dave. Just look at the GOP betrayal list. We looked at the FEC filings, and Matthew Maroon has donated $58,000 to John Jenks, $20,000 to Mike Rogers, and tens of thousands more to Michigan Republicans.
So suddenly, all these pro-business Republicans are standing silent or supporting a plan to block the busiest trade artery in their state. They are representing Michigan. They're representing the guy who signed their campaign checks.
Now, let's fact-check Trump's rant. The world's most prolific liar says Canada built the bridge with virtually no U.S. content. Well, how much of that is true? Zero. It's a total lie.
First, the steel. The bridge towers and the Michigan interchange were built with U.S. steel. The Michigan side was built by Michigan union workers.
Second lie, the fairness claim. Trump says we're taking advantage of the USA. Hey, Donald, Canada paid for the whole thing. We paid $6.4 billion. We paid for the U.S. Customs Plaza. We're even paying for the Michigan highway ramps. Come on.
Michigan didn't have the money back in 2012, so Canada said, look, we'll bankroll it and recoup the costs through the tolls. It was a gift to the Michigan economy, and now Trump is calling that a shakedown of America? Come on, get with it.
Mr. Opposite himself is calling it what it is, his own shakedown. He even mentioned the Obama waiver. He's trying to make it sound like a secret deep state deal. Well, it wasn't. It was a common sense waiver so Canada could use its own materials for a project it was 100% financing. Trump himself endorsed this bridge in 2017. So why the flip? Well, because his donor is scared of losing money.
So let's talk about what happens if Trump actually follows through on this threat. This isn't just a political argument, it's a supply chain nightmare. 2.5 million trucks cross that border every single year. We're talking about engine parts for Ford, produce for your grocery stores, and life-saving medical supplies for hospitals.
If Trump chokes this crossing to help his billionaire buddy again, prices in Michigan and Ontario will skyrocket. He's literally tax farming the working class to protect a private monopoly.
But you have to understand the just-in-time system as well. The big three automakers don't have massive warehouses. The highway is the warehouse. Parts for a GM truck in Michigan might cross that river 4 times before the truck is even finished.
If those trucks are forced back onto the 96-year-old Ambassador Bridge, which is already at capacity, the delays won't be in minutes, they'll be in days. And this isn't just a political argument, everyone. It's a supply chain nightmare that will hit your wallet next week.
When the line stops in Oakville or Detroit because a $10 bolt is stuck at a Trump-blocked bridge, thousands of workers get sent home without pay. That is his hostage economy. He's holding your paycheck to get a cut of a bridge that he didn't even build or put a penny into.
And we have to look at the bigger picture here. This mob boss logic isn't just happening at our border, it's destroying lives across the Caribbean right now.
Look at what Trump is doing to Cuba. He signed executive orders to cut off their fuel, starving the island of energy. Airlines like Air Canada are already suspending flights because there isn't enough jet fuel for planes to leave Havana. Hospitals are canceling surgeries, and even public transit has ground to a halt.
It's cruel, it's evil, and it's calculated. He is trying to create a humanitarian crisis collapse to force a regime change. He's using the same siege tactics as his war criminal pal Netanyahu. They cut off the basics of life just to break a population. Listen, this isn't just about a bridge either. It's about a pattern of isolation. Trump is using the same mob boss logic he used in Cuba. Cutting off fuel to starve the island? Well, he's doing it to us with trade.
He's claiming that Prime Minister Mark Carney is selling out to China. He's using that as an excuse to ignore a 2012 Canada-Michigan crossing agreement, which is a legally binding treaty. But that's never stopped them before, now has it? We have to wake up here in Canada. We're living next to a madman. He treats human suffering as a negotiating tactic. If he's willing to starve a neighbor in the Caribbean, don't you think for a second that he won't try to freeze our economy to get what he wants? We have to watch our backs because the rules, they don't even exist anymore.
No, people are letting him get away with so much, it's driving me crazy. But this is why Carney's rupture speech at Davos was so critical. We are seeing the death of the rules-based order, and Trump doesn't care about treaties, he only cares about leverage and money. If you missed it, we have an entire video breaking down Prime Minister Carney's speech in the links below, and it is worth listening to.
Listen, if Trump can block a bridge that is 98% finished, then what's next? He's already threatened 100% tariffs on Canada's planes and 25% on our steel. He's trying to break our spirit so that we accept his 51 state status threats.
No way. So what's the next move? Well, Canadians, we need to stay strong. We need to double down on our boycotts, buy Canadian only, or anywhere that's not American, and avoid unnecessary travel to the USA. Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins called it what it is. Insane! But Canada, we cannot cave. If we give up 50% of an asset we paid $6 billion for just because a billionaire lobbied the president, well, we could lose our sovereignty forever.
And by the way, the Gordie Howe Bridge isn't just a random name either. Gordie Howe was a cross-border legend, born in Canada, became a Detroit icon. He literally spent his life spanning 2 countries. And he is the reason we use elbows up. And part of me thinks that Trump actually saw that bridge with someone else's name on it and took it personally. I'm sure he wants his name on there.
Yeah, this is the guy whose team slapped his name on the Kennedy Center, remodeled the Oval Office with tacky gold, and he's out there rebranding the Monroe Doctrine like it's a condo tower. To him, if it doesn't say Trump on it in gold, visible from space, it doesn't even exist.
But the real story here isn't the name. It's the toll empire. It's the donor calls, and it's the shakedown.
And that's exactly why this moment matters. Because if we let a billionaire and a president treat a public bridge like a private ATM, well, we're actually admitting to them that Canada might be for sale.
So here's the deal, everybody. We're not going to cave. We don't blink, and we don't hand over 50% of a bridge that we pay for because someone's donor got cranky. And if you want the full Maroon money trail and the proof that we couldn't fit into this video, then come hang out with us on Substack.
And seriously, thank you to everyone who subscribed. You've been subscribing like legends, and you helped push us to the rising star territory on Substack, and we don't take that lightly.
No.
It's all because of you.
Thank you. And as always, if you want to support this channel without giving a dime, just hit like, subscribe to this channel, and click on that bell for a notification. The algorithm doesn't like us calling out the grit, and it's constantly fighting us to get noticed. Your engagement is how we actually fight back.
And hey, if you like our shirts, check out our merch store. Wear it in the wild and let everyone know that we are not caving.
And if you want behind the scenes and extra breakdowns and our members only chats, then join the A-Team. The links are all down below.
So we'll see you in the comments, everybody.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.